Hi y'all, today we were talking about how you add and subtract radicals. Your first definition is just a reminder really, you need like radicals to add or subtract them. Again, remember that means they need to have the same index and the same radicand. So like 4 cube root 2 and 7 cube root 2. Those have like radicals because they both have the cube root of 2. Before we do that, we're going to start by reviewing how to simplify radicals. You did that last week. You're going to need your list of perfect squares. Today you're just working with square roots, so you're looking for your biggest perfect square that goes into the given number. Again, I like to start with the one closest to my number and work my way down. All right, so I just went and added a list of perfect squares on the bottom here. My first number, we have the square root of 80, so I'm going to start at 81. Well, I guess 64, because that's just below. Oh, no. 81. And see, all right, can I divide 80 by that evenly? I can't divide 80 by 64 evenly, or 49, or 36, or 25. I also don't think 16 is going to work, but let me just double check. 80 divided, no, there's no way. Oh yeah, it does work. So 80 is the same as the square root of 16 times 5. Again, if I multiply those two numbers, I get 16. We need to simplify it. We're going to take the square root of both, the square root of 16, the square root of 5. Again, the square root of 16 is 4, and the square root of 5 I can't simplify. So my final answer would be 4/5. Or 4 root 5. It's really important you find the biggest square root. If I look at 80, I know right off the bat I can divide it by 4. So I could have alternatively written this as the square root of 80 equals the square root of 4 times 20, which is great. We get the square root of 4. We get the square root of 20. The square root of 4 gives me 2. And we have root 20. But again, you have to figure out if there's another perfect square that goes into 20. There is. You can also divide 20 by 4. But if you find the biggest perfect square, so if you start with the big numbers and find the one that goes into it first, then you never have to worry about like, oh, okay, do I need to check? Do I know I have the biggest perfect square taken out? For my second one, we have the square root of 72. Same thing. I'm going to start at 64 because that's just under 72. I can't divide 72 by 64 evenly. I can't divide it by 49 evenly, but I can divide it by 36. I know 72 is the same as 36 times 2. Again, I'm going to take the square root of both numbers separately. The square root of 36 gives me 6, and then we just have the square root of 2 left over. So my final answer would be 6 root 2. Today, you're going to focus a lot on simplifying things and then combining your like radicals, but you have to be able to simplify in order to combine your like radicals. Again, check out the notes from 6.1 if you're unsure or if you need to see more about this. My first example, we have negative 2 root 54 plus 2 root 24. Again, we need our radicals to match. We need the number underneath to be the same in order for us to be able to combine them. So I'm going to start by just simplifying each of my radicals. My first one is negative 2 root 54. Again, I'm looking for the biggest perfect square that goes into 54, so you can go down your list and divide them. I know that I can do 54 divided by 9, and that'll give me 6. So we have negative 2 times the square root of 9 times 6. Again, if I simplify, negative 2 times the square root of 9 times the square root of 6. The square root of 9 gives me 3, so we have negative 2 times 3 root 6. And then negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. So this whole thing is the same as negative 6 root 6. Now we need to do the same thing with 2 root 24. I need to simplify it. So I'm looking for a perfect square that goes into 24. I know I can't divide it by 16. I can't divide it by 9, but I can divide it by 4. So we have 2 times the square root of 4 times 6. 2 times the square root of 4 times the square root of 6. And the square root of 4 gives me 2, so we have 2 times 2 up front, and then root 6. 2 times 2 would give me 4 root 6. So this is the same as a positive 4 root 6. From here, it's just like we're combining our like terms. Really, these are giving you like your common factor, your common terms. So you're just adding or subtracting your numbers out front. So if I do negative 6 plus 4, I get a negative 2. And then I want to keep my like radicals. So my final answer is negative 2 root 6. Again, if the things underneath the square root have been different, you can't actually combine them for your final answer. For E, you have 7 root 32 minus 4 root 72. Again, I'm going to start by just simplifying this side, 7 square root 32. I know I can divide 32 by 16, which is a perfect square. So we have 7 times the square root of 16 times 2, which is 7 times the square root of 16 times the square root of 2. The square root of 16 gives me 4, so we have 7 times 4 root 2. When I do 7 times 4, I get 28. So my first one is 28 root 2. Now for my second term, we had negative 4 root 72. I am going to take that negative sign with my term just so I don't forget about it. For 72, I think we just did that one. I know 36 goes into it. So we have negative 4 times the square root of 36 times 2. Negative 4 times the square root of 36 times the square root of 2. The square root of 36, excuse me, will give me 6 times root 2. Negative 4 times 6 gives me a negative 24, and then just root 2. So again, this is the same as negative 24 square root 2. Again, now our numbers match. They have the same radical. So we can add or subtract our numbers out front. I say 28 minus 4. That gives me 4, and then we need that radical on the end. So my final answer for E is 4 root 2. All right, for F, we have 3 root 20 plus 3 root 5 minus 3 root 3. We're doing the same thing if we have 3 terms. You just want to simplify each term. If they have a like radical, combine them. My first one is 3 root 20. I know 20 can be divided by 4. So we have 3 times the square root of 4 times 5, which is great because 4 is a perfect square. 3 times the square root of 4 times the square root of 5. The square root of 4 would give me 2, so we have 3 times 2 root 5. And then 3 times 2 gives me 6 root 5. So my new first term is 6 root 5. Now my second one's already simplified. There isn't a perfect square that goes into 5, so we're going to leave plus 3 root 5. And my last one, minus 3 root 3, is going to stay 2 because there isn't a perfect square that goes into 3. You can't really divide 3 by anything else. So in this case, we're going to combine these two terms. The last one, it's just going to be part of my final answer. Again, I can't combine it because it doesn't have the square root of 5. It has the square root of 3. Your square roots have to match in order for you to be able to combine them. So I notice I have 6 plus 3. That gives me 9. We need that square root of 5 on the end. And then don't forget the last part, minus 3 root 3. And then this is your final answer. You don't have to do anything else. That one's kind of nice because we only had to simplify once. My last one, we have negative 2 root 27 minus square root of 12 plus 3 root 3. Let's start with negative 2 root 27. I know I can divide 27 by 9, so we have negative 2 times the square root of 9 times 3. Again, I'm looking for a perfect square I can divide that number underneath my square root by. So we can do negative 2 times the square root of 9 times the square root of 3. The square root of 9 gives me 3, so we have negative 2 times 3 root 3. If I do negative 2 times 3, I get negative 6 root 3. So that's my first term. I do have to simplify my second one, negative root 12. I'm going to do that over here. Again, I'm just going to take the negative sign with it. I'm looking for a perfect square I can divide 12 by. I know I can divide it by 4, so we have negative square root of 4 times 3, which is negative root 4 root 3. The square root of 4 is 2, so we have negative 2 root 3. And my last term, I can't simplify it anymore, so we'll just add it on the end. This one's great. They all have root 3s, so we can combine them. If I do -6 minus 2, I get -8. If I add 3 to it, I'll get -5. So my final answer would be -5 root 3. Again, you're just combining those numbers out front, tack your root 3 on the end. All right, that is all I have for you today. If you have any questions on your homework, you need help, don't hesitate to reach out. But we will talk about this all when I'm back in person too. So thank you for watching. I appreciate all of your hard work.